deep in the worship, you close your eyes. It's okay to sleep with a girl, any girl you want. Then you come, and I gave an example of myself. I told my friend, man, I feel not right to step on pulpit. Why? Because of there's some things I really do, I don't want to do them, but at times I find myself doing it, and I don't feel it right to step on a pulpit. But I was given a responsibility in the church of setting up the pulpit, and I felt it is uncomfortable when I read that if the priest had to be tied a rope. So that thing was removed because we're having a good mediator who is Jesus Christ. And we looked at that this mediator cools down God the Father and says, "Oh, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." Hoping that we one day we shall come to realize and change. And we can still change. We still have that opportunity. We still have that chance of changing before the rupture. There is nothing as to why we were put into place than giving God the Father praises. Because when you look at the calling of the church, it says you were called into being to give praises of him who called you out of the darkness. So we've done that part, that we giving ourselves prayer every Sunday. You tithe, you give, like it said, you sow seed. But we've turned it another way. We are now concentrating on but born agains don't have to wear those things. It is okay for the born again to wear the way you want. It's okay for the born again to go to a club. And the way we look at the distinctiveness and separateness, the way the outside world sees you, and if this person is like this, the person who says I'm born again but ever is in bars, me, I don't drink, but just go there just to sit and tickle, or all that kind. You're the kind of a person when you tithe, you're like, I tithe for my businesses in order for my business to grow. We are not tithing as to help the widows, but we are tithing to increase on our income. If it was not maybe in that way, maybe we would not tithe or we would not give. When you look at sowing the seed, it is not the way how, in the proper way that the earlier church was doing it. And we looked at all that does not distinct us, does not separate us. It has made the church image look like people who just make money. And when you talk about somebody, when you talk to somebody about salvation, people are like, those are people who just want money. Why? We've turned into that tithing is too much, giving is too much. That way we are doing a right thing, but we've made it come to be something that is really, really not good for the bay. The way we dress, like a man, you wear maybe a damaged cloth, it is cut. The way it looks like, it is not a sin that you wore like that, but the image, it shades you to the community. I give you an example of Muslims, the way they wear. There is a way it distincts them when they are moving. Let's say on a Friday, it's very easy to identify that this is a Muslim, but it is very difficult to identify a born again Christian when he's moving on a Sunday. Maybe when they are, maybe somebody sees you smart and says you're from church, but a Muslim is being seen from afar with their kofira, their cape maybe, and a kanzu, and it does not need you somebody to explain to you, I'm a Muslim. Just the appearance only, it tells that this person is a Muslim. You get the point. The point of distinctiveness and separateness is on the well-being, the well-living, the way we live on earth. Does it distinct us? Does it separate us? The way we do our things, do they separate us, or they keep us attached to the world? The way we've loved money more than serving, the way we've loved the outside world more than the way we are serving, is too much. So the Muslims are easily identified. When you go to maybe and tell you the other man is a witch doctor, you find them with back cloth. I don't say that back cloth are bad, but you find them maybe with a black back cloth, and it's easy for you to say this one is a witch doctor. Very easy. But when you look at the daughters and sons of the Holy Spirit, there's nothing like that distincts them, that you find somebody and say, this person is really a born again. Nothing. When we look at our dressing, when we look at the places we be in, when we look at the conversation we always attend to, there is nothing that really distincts us. There is nothing that really distincts us. So we need to touch in ourselves. The easy way of explaining distinctiveness and separateness, besides using the other religions, is you or me being given a name. So we are given a name. Why are you being given a name? That me, I'm Rogers, and the other one maybe is Bruno or Moses or anything or whatever, Elijah. Why? You can see even Jesus had a name. It's called Jesus. He had disciples. He had Simon Peter. He had Judas Iscariot. He had very many. There were 12, and everyone with a different name. Why were they having a different name? Why? It is distinctiveness and separateness. Because if there are like 12 people standing in one position and you don't know anyone's name there, how hard is it, or how difficult is it for you to call one? But if you know somebody's name amongst the 12 and you're like, so and so come, very easy. Why? Because that person was given a name and distinct from anyone else, right? We find ourselves that the church needs to work harder. The church of today, we need to work a lot in order to separate and distinct ourselves from the outside world. There is a lot we do and we think that it is okay to live in this life, but it is limiting you to some other things. It is limiting you a lot. We looked at the calling of the church, where God called on to the church, and we used the 1 Peter 2:9, in the book of 1 Peter 2:9, where he said, you are the chosen generation, the royal priesthood, the holy nation, for I called you to give praises to me and all that. Then we went ahead and looked at the book of Genesis, and we separated it from Genesis 1 to Genesis, from Genesis verse 1, chapter 1 verse 1 to 25. And we looked at it, and we said in that separateness, God was creating everything by saying, and said,